Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. Today I kind of wanted to introduce you to another part of our reports. If you're part of the Discord, you get our reports, so you already know about this section of our report. So what we do is let me get to the charts and I'll talk to you about what's in our reports and how we do the reports and talk about what we're doing for today. So if you look on our particular screen, let me show you. So we have a report called the majors. Let me open this up. So what I've been doing with you guys on YouTube is pretty much talking about the indexes. These are the four indexes that I talk about each day, telling you kind of what the market is doing, why the market is doing it, what candles are we looking for. I kind of talk about that, religiously every single day. I'm not going to talk about those today. Also, I always add in our canaries. Let me explain what the canaries are. So the indexes tell you what's going on. The canaries are kind of tell you what might be happening soon. These canaries, if okay, the story with canaries are coal miners back in the days. They used to work in the coal mine. But the problem is there's a lot of carbon dioxide down there, but carbon dioxide is odorless. You can't tell. You could be down there working, then all of a sudden you pass out. So what they would do is they would take canaries down there, and as they're working, if the carbon dioxide got so bad that now the canary, you look in the cage and the canary has passed away, that lets everyone know, get out of the mines, the carbon dioxide is pretty high. So that's what canaries in a coal mine mean. That's the term, that's the, common term. So for us, these are the indexes or these are the sectors that kind of tell you a little story of what might be happening to kind of give us some awareness. For instance, we looked at transports. We saw transports dropping. For a while, Bitcoin was dropping for some time. Gold was climbing. There's a lot of different things that we look at that kind of give us not just to round out the story, but also to kind of keep us on our toes on what may be happening. So that's what I've been doing pretty much for the most part. Indexes and canaries. But what we also provide is the next step. So we have four indexes, we have 12 canaries, and we have this section right here. This is called the core. The core is the stocks that move the market, whether it's market cap or maybe there are a leader in that particular field that will move the market. So we have 36 stocks that we look at. Obviously, you got your Apples all the way down to your Googles, to your Procter and Gambles, to your Teslas. These are the stocks that kind of create, it's almost like our own personal alpha rule, like the Dow Jones 30. This is the alpha, this is the alpha 36, right? So these tell us why. So you have the indexes that kind of tell us the what. The canaries give us a little bit of a story on the where, the when, I guess. I guess the when kind of tell us when something may be soon to happen. But then these tell us the hardcore truth on why the market is going up and why the market is going down. That's pretty much what they do, right? So for tonight's session, I'm only going to talk about a couple of these that I've had some alerts and I noticed that some things have happened that if nobody's noticing, it might happen and all of a sudden we have a reversal, but no one's talking about it. Okay. So just work with me real quick. This might be a little different than what you guys are used to from our reports. But this is just something I kind of want to introduce to y'all because as I was doing this and as we were creating our report for the next day for our Discord, you get a full report. And then we have one big report where we take everything that we have and give you just a blanket statement on this is what the market is doing, this is why it's doing it, and this is what you should be aware of. So we have the index report, the major report, we have the core report, we have the canaries report, and then we have the one big daily report that kind of takes everything and kind of gives a story. Okay. So let me go to some stocks that I wanted to talk about and wanted to look at. Let's go. Let's start with the charts, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I've noticed. Now I'm only going with this one. So since it's 36, I can't talk about each of them every single day. But what I can do is I can talk about them in the sense of what I've noticed on that particular chart, just the ones that kind of stood out. Now, Apple, I got to learn on Apple that it did close below its daily reversal. It's currently still trending down. As you see, it's below the 20 moving average. Also, as you see, it's below the 20 moving average on the weekly. But one thing I did notice is that what it did, it created a doji right at the 200 moving average. So I look at the 20 move on the daily, I look at the 20 moving average, and I look at the 200 moving average. I think those are the two most important moving averages. The 50s and the 100s for the day, they're kind of important, but the ones that mean a lot will be the 220. So as you see, it gave us a doji, then it turned around and closed above it. That's the rule on the doji. We're supposed to go in the direction of the close above a doji that's in the right location. I don't just do dojis anywhere. It has to be at the right location, and this is bouncing right off the 200 moving average. So this is telling me this stock might be trying to get back to the 20 moving average because it bounced off of here, get back here, and we'll see what happens at that point. So right now, Apple might give you a little bit of a bounce, maybe a day or two. I don't know for sure. Now, if it starts turning back around and breaking down below the 200 moving average, then obviously things have changed. But for the most part, short term, you may say a little bounce. So that means if Apple's giving you a little bounce, and Apple is one of the largest companies in the world, you might see a little bitty bounce on the stock market. That doesn't mean the trend has changed. What that means is if you are someone that's looking to short, you might get your opportunities as long as you wait for the right locations. The right locations to short Apple, if you wanted to short Apple, would obviously be right back here at the 20 moving average on the daily. Wait for your confirmation, and then those are locations where you can short. Because if you're wrong, remember the location is your bet. While the trend is your friend, the location is your family. Long as you got family, you're gonna be okay. Because you know fairly quickly if you're right or wrong. As long as you know the locations to get into stocks, whether you short them or go long, you're gonna be fine with your strategy because you'll never lose a lot and you'll always win a lot. That's pretty much how this whole thing goes. All right, so Apple was one of them. Let me give you another one. Another one on my list, and I'm just kind of skipping through the ones that stood out. Okay. So now Caterpillar. Now Caterpillar is part of transports. I mean, well, okay, well, not transports. It's part of industrial, large, big, big farm, big technology. You have your Boeings, you have your, well, Boeing's transport. You have Caterpillar, you have John Deere. You just have certain things. So when you start to see Caterpillar start to move, economic wise, construction wise, that might be a positive thing. Look at Caterpillar. Caterpillar just shot above our weekly reversal back up, closed above the 20 moving average on the daily, and currently it's bullish on the weekly. It's been bullish on the weekly, and it just cleared the 20 moving average on the daily. Next stop, to be honest with you, if I'm looking at this particular chart, this might be a location right here, but we closed above this particular candle, and we closed above the moving average. The next stop in Caterpillar looked like it's trying to get all the way back up to the all-time highs, which means the market might have some strength coming into it because this is Caterpillar. It's very difficult for the market to be super duper weak when Caterpillar is strong because Caterpillar represents the economy. You only buy big movable things if you're trying to um, build things, right? All right, so that's one of them. So Caterpillar is something that I just noticed. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't reverse back down again, but what I am seeing, I do see some type of strength. All right, let's go with the next one. CVX. Okay, so now CVS is oil. So now this is where it gets weird. Oil's kind of come down a little bit, but the energy stocks aren't coming down. Now I understand stock and oil are two different things, but what it did, it broke out. It gave us an engulfing bar right here, and then yesterday it broke out from that engulfing bar again. Now this was an all-time high that it broke, and it stayed above it, and it's pretty much ripping and rolling. So right now, the energy stocks are still strong. Still strong. Whether energy's going up or whether energy's going down, the energy stocks are still relatively strong. Okay. All right. Now this is a very interesting one. This is Delta. You remember the transports were getting destroyed? Delta went from 76 all the way down to 55 in less than a month, right? So 76 to 55, that's a 20 drop on a $70 stock. That is about almost one third, not quite, but that's a huge drop. But look at it. Ever since it did it, it bounced off of it, got back above the 200 moving average, got above the 20 moving average. This blue line is my weekly reversal. It just gave us another engulfing bar. So I'm put the line there at the top and put a line here and a line at the bottom. It gave us another engulfing bar. If we break back through here again, because that's the rules, engulfing bars tell you if you're gonna go up or down. This is starting to cook. Now we do have this huge gap right here. So let me go ahead and put a gap. I don't like to do gap fills on individual stocks because I just think it's redundant. But I'm gonna just put one right here just because that's a pretty large gap that I actually see. All right, I put that right there. But this is showing strength. Nobody's talking. If the airlines are starting to show strength, because this is the biggest airline is Delta, then there may be some things coming around that might make you think that travel is going to be open back up again for the most part. So just pay attention. I noticed that that's what Delta did. And Delta is now, look, now this is what makes it interesting. That's why I put them lines right there. Look at this. This is the 20 moving average on the weekly, y'all. As of right now, this is what the candle looks like. If I break above that particular candle and start riding out, we'll close the week above the 20 moving average on the weekly, which means by definition, this is a bullish stock on the weekly and a bullish stock on the short term and long term. It's a bullish stock. It's very difficult for Caterpillar to be breaking levels, Delta to be breaking levels, and the market to say the economy is not trying to fix itself. Those two stocks are definitely economic indicators. Caterpillar and Delta. That's the economy for the most part, right? And travel. Let me go to another one. Now, all of this is not going to look great. I'm just telling you what the alerts that I'm getting. Now, this is one. Disney. Disney cratered. Now, Disney is streaming services. Um, Disney, oh, I'm sorry. I messed up the actual view. Let me open up the view a little bit more. As you see, this is, even though we had high volume here, we have broken that high volume candle and we had a big engulfing candle that we just closed below. So when it comes to Disney is just rolling over bad. There's nothing in sight. Let me look to the left on the weekly. But as you see, Disney has come a long ways. If you look at the weekly, look at these candles. These candles that there's nothing from here to there. It's just straight up, which means straight down. What Jay-Z say? Grand opening, grand closing. That's pretty much what you're looking at. Let me look to the left using the daily to see if there's any particular major gaps or a major level that we can look out for the short term. But let me go ahead and figure this out real quick. Let's see if we see something to the left, guys. Because as of right now, whoa, okay, here we go. I didn't see that. Look at that. Do you guys see how huge of a gap that is? Good gracious. Let me do the gap fill. That would be my target. And I'm doing this in real time with you guys. And I'm trying to shrink it down so you can see it. I went all the way to, do you see this huge gap right here? That's huge, huge. So I'm gonna put a line here at the gap fill. So Disney leapfrogged over that. Ooh, this is getting a little dangerous. The reason why this is getting a little dangerous is because we get into that gap. It's called a void. It's a vacuum. There's no price action right there. Somebody just leapfrogged it and just took off. Once we start breaking down below particular areas, which looks like we're below that area now, this might have a runner to go straight down. And I see why Disney is still rolling over. Even though the market looking like it's trying to get a little strength, Disney is struggling because it has a vacuum of price action. So don't take it as the market is dropping. Just take it as, okay, Disney's reacting to a big, huge gap that it currently has. All right, let me shrink this back up for you guys. I'm sorry, my thing needs to reconnect. Let me get back in there. We'll be back in a second. For some reason, it just went out. We'll be right back. Okay, we should be right back in. Hold up. Let me share the screen again. All right. All right, we are back in. Here we go. So that's that gap right there. So let's go ahead and shrink this all the way up so you can see where we are. So we're below those areas and we're literally trying to run through there and fill that gap because it's a void of price. There's a vacuum. It's just a black hole right there. So yeah, Disney is in a struggle of price action. Let me give you one more. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And these are what's going to this is the type of stuff that's on the report that you'll notice. Hey, let's go Google. Now Google. Oof. This don't look good. Now, Google, what it did do is it closed below a monthly reversal level, but it is currently oversold on the daily as well. That's my Bollinger Band. It's oversold, meaning it could pause here or could snap back just to get back to the 20. We're below the 20 moving average. So everything about Google is dropping, right? Now, at one point, this was an all-time high. Let me put a line right here. So all those previous all-time highs are going to come into play because it might be trying to bounce off of those particular levels. So I'm just identifying the ones that had structure. Structure is something went down and came back up. I don't just put all-time highs. I see it went down on the weekly over 2, 3 weeks and then came back up, broke through and took off. So below here, now this could be a level, but for the most part, let me see over here. Is there anything over here? That's kind of a little chop zone. I'd rather probably look at the 200 moving average. Let's see what we look like on the weekly. But yeah, Google is rolling. Yeah, the weekly, we just looked at it again. Yeah, the Google's just kind of rolling over right now. Now it could kind of snap back because it is overbought. I mean oversold. But we'll see. We'll see. But Google's showing weakness. So right now we see weakness in Disney. We see weakness in Google. Now this is one that's going to be interesting. Let's get into it. Here we go. I'm just waiting for some reason. I'm sorry, y'all. I know this is gonna be a ratchet video, but that's all right. I'm just knocking this out, doing this. Apologize. Let me get this started again. Okay, let me get back in. Okay. I don't know what's going on with Wi-Fi, but it's all good. We'll get all that stuff before we before we get super duper professional here. All right, so the next one is going to be Johnson and Johnson. This is another stock. It's below the 20 moving average on the 20 moving average on the daily. Let's see where we are on the weekly. It's above, it's bullish on the weekly. So it has room for it to drop some. So if you look right here, I'm gonna shrink this up a little bit more. We had a level right here. You see Bing, Bing, this was a level that it bounced off of. Then we kind of closed below it, but we never recovered back up again. Now we turned down and we got official close below this 235.43. That's a level that you definitely look at. And Johnson Johnson kind of blew through there. Now Johnson and Johnson is not the economy. It is a solid stock, but Johnson and Johnson is simply a drug manufacturer, different things. Everybody's familiar with Johnson and Johnson, whether it's baby powder or whether it's deodorant, whether it's medicine, anything like that. So we closed below particular levels. This candle gave us a close below those levels, which may mean something, may not mean anything, but we could be just looking at a correction on, let's see the weekly. It might be trying to get back to the 20 moving average on the weekly. It could do that. So just keep your eye open. Let's see another one. I'm just going through the ones that have alerts on them on what they did and what they've done. Here we go. This is a very interesting one. This is a sector that has actually been acting up. Now, this is JP Morgan. It's below the 20 on the weekly, and it's now above the 20 on the daily. It's still below the 200, but I'm getting it got above the weekly reversal. It's looking a little strong. It tried to drop back down and then it rallied right back up again the same day. I'm seeing some type of buying or some type of strength in JP Morgan, which is the financials. The financials were getting blown away. Transports and financials were having a problem. Now, we just saw Delta kind of recover, which is the largest airline. And I'm looking at JP Morgan showing some signs of strength of breaking through certain levels, which is the largest bank. So you tell me the largest bank is showing sometimes some a little bit of strength, and the largest airline is showing a little bit of strength, and the transports and the financials is what brought the market down. Okay, now what we can't have is for Google and technology to struggle when finance and transport start to do a little bit better. So that's definitely something we need to definitely look at. All right. Let's go to TSM. So I have an alert for TSM. So TSM is giving me a little bounce, giving me a little recovery. Might be trying to get back to the 20 moving average right here. Um, yeah. Yeah, but it's bullish. So this is where it gets interesting. We're above the 20 on the weekly, and we're bouncing to get back to the 20 on the daily. That for the investor, this is definitely areas to kind of get in because it's at the right location and it's starting to show you some signs of strength and reversing back up again. So let me see one more thing. We have a couple more. Now we do have the rest of our report. Now UPS, this is a very interesting. UPS, this is not a well, I guess it is transport. UPS ships, planes, um, um, railroads, and I'm gonna look at the railroad too. What it did do is it recovered over. It's sitting right here on the 200 moving average. I got confirmation it's trying to bounce back up again, but it is definitely dropping down. It's below the 20, but it gave a little bit of sign of strength. It doesn't mean that it's time to just buy it up. It's just showing that it's probably pausing and holding. Let me look at the railroad. So I have an alert on railroad. So remember, we looked at Delta, which is the airlines, positives. We looked at financials, which kind of that's a big thing. JP Morgan. Look at this. So check this out. So UNP is bearish on a daily, bearish on a weekly, right? This one closed above off of the bounce off the 200 moving average. It closed above it, but then it gave us a engulfing candle. We break up or we break down, that's going to probably tell us a lot. If tomorrow we get a close above here with airlines doing well, with Caterpillar doing well, and if financials stay strong, you might be seeing the beginnings of some type of economic reversal. I don't know yet, so I'm not going to sit up here and claim it. But what I'm saying is, canaries help us paint the story. It's hard for the market to crash if JP Morgan, Union Pacific, Delta, Caterpillar, if those type of companies that not only are large cap companies, but they also represent our economy are starting to get bought or starting to show some type of strength, that's definitely something you need to look at. And then we'll be looking at it on the charts later. So when financials start to show, XLF start to show strength, or transports, IYT start to show strength, that's going to mean something. And we'll know the picture and we know exactly what's going on. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I have a couple of alerts on some other ones, but for the most part, I wanted to kind of introduce you to the concept of the canaries. In the comment section, let me know if you would like me to add the core stocks that have given us an alert to the daily report. Right now, you get the indexes and you get all the canaries. I talked to you, not, I'm not talking about the daily report on paper. I'm talking about the report that I do via YouTube. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to give you the indexes and I'm going to give you canaries anyway, right? So we can paint a story and we can understand what's going on. Do you also want me to add in the few stocks that might give us an alert that something's happening, or just leave that in the paper report? So comment below, please share, subscribe, comment, come on board. I have the Discord link in there. It's totally free. You get your free reports every single morning. But let me know if you want me to add commentary with each video regarding the few stocks, the few 36 stocks that have either given us alert back up or given us alert down. Just let me know. All right, you guys have a great day. Look forward to hearing from you. Let's go ahead and make some money. I'm starting to see some things that look pretty good. We're not out the way yet, but I do see some things that look like the story is starting to create a story that we need to see. Now, remember, we always first. We always see stuff before anybody else. So now financials and the transport start to bounce, and then you start hearing people talk about CNBC, you're gonna be like, hey, Alfaru was right. He was way ahead of the game. I'm starting to see it on the charts because I only look at it if it's on the charts. The charts are starting to tell us something that some things might, I don't want to use the word reach bottom because that would be irresponsible. But there's some things that are starting to show some minor strengths that is very that's very exciting. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day. Bye.